Morning guys, Jsnow with the WoW video for you guys, and got the bedhead going on. So this WoW video is going to be the top 5 things I'm excited for so far in World of Warcraft Legion coming up. Of course, I do not have Legion yet, but I am assuming that eventually, let me actually close something here. I'm assuming that because the alpha has been so long, and it feels like it's been almost a year, I think that, they're actually going to let a lot of people into the beta when it actually goes into beta. So hopefully we'll get a ticket in, but we'll have to see what happens. It's like trying to win the lottery or trying to get into Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, but we'll have to see what happens. So number 5 is the returning to old content, basically making old content relevant again. And I have one little quest thing here. I only have a tiny example. So it was actually, I found it on Twitter, and it's a quest. It's a skinning quest, but it's an interesting skinning quest, because it requires you to go to 3 old, basically irrelevant raids at the moment, but we'll have to see what happens, what they do with them. But basically, I'll just read off what it says. So the quest is called Hides of Legends, and you have to obtain a hide of Icehowl from Trial of the Crusader. That's the guy, if I remember correctly, he like slams the back of the arena and then everybody goes flying. He was a pretty annoying boss. So you have to skin him. You have to get a hide of Oakthar from Barrett and Hold, and I can barely remember Barrett and Hold because it was just so, even when the instance came out, it was just like so irrelevant unless you needed, like, really needed that PvP gear and you couldn't afford to farm it yourself. But that's definitely an instance almost nobody goes to. And then the last one is the Hide of Horadon from Throne of Thunder. So that's pretty interesting. He's kind of a little bit challenging boss. So when I assume at level 110 he won't be as bad, because you can the new Blizzard system of where you can deal more damage the higher level you are. Will probably be ridiculous at 110, so you'll be able to probably blast through that. So then you have the troll. He's like, yeah, I can train you. Thing is, I'm still working on my techniques here in Siramar. In fact, you could probably help. I need to look at a few special skins for comparison. I need a strong white yeti pelt, a big demon skin, and the thickest dire horn skin you can find. Alright, that was probably a terrible troll accent, but whatever. So, there's no reward though, so I don't know what the rewards will be, but it's pretty interesting. They actually send you back through the content. Now, whether the content will just be a face roll, as in right now you can just run into an old raid and one-shot everything, or because you have the quest, maybe they'll make it so it scales to the solo level, which would be pretty interesting if they actually do that. So we'll have to see what Blizzard does with that. But otherwise, it's very interesting. I do like the fact that they're going to try to make old content, doable, or at least optional. So hopefully this is actually an optional quest and not like a must, because I don't think some people are going to want to go back to like Barrett and Hold. Who wants to go back to Barrett and Hold? Alright, so let's close that out. Alright, so number 4 on this list is the return to Dalaran. So I'm just looking at a bunch of screenshots on Google. Unfortunately, there's not that much for some reason. But obviously, Legion Dalaran is returning. It's going to be a little bit weird because Dalaran will still be in Wrath of the Lich King, yet Dalaran will be in Legion. So it's in 2 places at the same time. And I don't think there's really an explanation for it other than, the story has progressed, but obviously they can't, change the whole zone, but we'll have to see what happens with the double Dalaran. But anyway, I'm talking about new Dalaran. So I guess since I don't know much about Legion Dalaran, I'm just gonna go off of the Wrath of the Lich King one, and obviously it's A, fan service, and because I don't think it actually really needed to come to Legion, who knows, and also B, in my opinion, probably one of the best extra cities ever. Still love Silvermoon. I know a lot of people love Silvermoon. I'm on that train, but Dalaran is definitely the second best city in the game, or whatever you want to call it. And why is it like that? Because it's very compact, but in a good way. Like, it's not a huge city where you have to fly around like 50 miles, or you're gonna forget what's where. It also has the Dalaran sewers, which is now the rogue class hole in Legion. So the Dalaran sewers is actually going to be way more popular than it was in the original Dalaran. But even in the original Dalaran, it's pretty popular because they had all the PvP skirmishes there. So this was actually one of the few cities that actually had its own dedicated arena zone or whatever you want to call it, where you can do your 1v1s and fight people to see who has the better character and etc. And it was pretty cool. So I hope they bring that back. I mean, I assume they will. But there is the rogue class hall, so I'm not sure if the sewers will be restricted to only the rogues. I kind of doubt that. It'll probably be like one section or something like that. But I'm hoping they bring back the little PvP area, because that's where a lot of players get to meet, and that will hopefully, help a little bit with the community aspect of World of Warcraft. Because right now they obviously completely butchered the community aspect, and having a little spot in the main city to run around and do PvP for fun will definitely help that out. As far as Dalaran itself, I like how it looks, of course. It looks beautiful. And I just like the whole, I guess, idea behind it where mages run the whole city. So there's a lot of magic going on. And it's an overall cool city. And I mean, if you're playing WoW, or or if you want to play WoW, or if you're going to pick up WoW maybe a couple months before Legion actually comes out on the 30th of August, I think, if I remember correctly. You could check out Dalaran pretty much right now once you hit about level 70 and get to Wrath of the Lich King. And it won't change. It shouldn't change too much, so you can kind of check it out for yourself. Unless you want to go to one of those private servers. Oh god. I hear a knock on my door. Blizzard Police. We heard you had a private server. Blizzard Police. Open up. Alright, so I was 4, so we're at number 3. Number 3 is Siramar. So I only have a picture of a map here because I don't think I think it either just got on the beta or alpha, or it's not there yet. And I'm interested in this zone. I'm also interested in the zone with the Valkyrie people, the Valkyrie, I think that's how they're called. But I'm mostly interested in this zone because Night Elves are back, and I feel like Night Elves have been like extremely neglected in every expansion so far. Like, you did have a huge horde of them during Mist of Pandaria, but as far as like their buildings and architectures evolved, I just feel like Night Elves have really just been put like on the back burner. And finally, this expansion there's gonna be a huge part of Night Elves, and one of those things is Siramar. So, what do you call it? There is some lore here. I guess I'll read it like really quickly. So it has a rich Night Elf history. You'll find the Temple of the Loon, which is one of those famous places, I guess. Temple of the Moon. And it holds the raid, the Nighthold, which looks absolutely amazing, and it's a palace. A lot of the dungeons look really good. I didn't actually put that in this top 5, but I guess 5.5 dungeons look, and raids look amazing. They all look a kind of bit dark. They have like a dark theme, but it's not that bad. So anyway, there's also the Tomb of Sargeras, which is the more desolate area, and obviously the Tomb of Sargeras plays a major role in the expansion. So I think it comes up in the beginning, because I think that's where they find Illidan or something like that. I might be wrong on this, but I'm just reading this off really quickly. And the palace itself, it's saying Siramar Palace itself is the Palace of the Nightborn and Nightwell. So that'll be pretty interesting. Check out the lore and stuff. And of course the Burning Legion is going to be there. And there is a city in here, so if we just look at the map itself, on the bottom is the major city. So I don't know if that... I assume it's going to be a normal area where you're going to have to fight enemies and stuff. It would be very, very interesting if this was actually a city for like maybe Alliance or something. And that's actually something I don't know much about. Are they going to have any separate camps for Alliance and Horde? I mean, I assume they already do. But is there going to be like any major maybe sub-cities for Alliance and Horde? Because we haven't had a major city for Alliance and Horde since... Damn. I'm trying to think. Since maybe... Yeah, I guess Burning Crusade. Damn. We have Silvermoon and... Silvermoon and Exodar. We haven't had a major city since Burning Crusade. That's pretty insane if you think about it. That's like, what, 11, almost like 10 years ago or something like that? Because, they did make a city in Cataclysm for the Goblins and Worgens, and I don't know why they did this, but they left the cities empty because they were just meant as a starter zone, which I think was just a huge missed opportunity, especially with the Worgen Gilneas. Gilneas is one of the most beautiful cities. I say it's better than Silvermoon. It's one of the most beautiful cities in the game. and it's only useful for the starting first 20 levels, and then the city is not populated. So I haven't heard any news that they might repopulate it or anything, but please, Blizzard, like, the city's just useless. It's just there, like the best city and looking city in the game. It's just there and it's empty. So I think that was just a huge missed opportunity. So hopefully either they bring back Gilneas, make Gilneas great again. Oh, it just triggered some people. But anyway, what do you call it? I just hope that maybe they have some extra cities other than the same Dalaran, because if you think about it in the long term, you're seeing Dalaran again. I mean, you kind of want to see something new technically. So we'll have to see what happens. Alright, the next thing is the Demon Hunter. So the Demon Hunter is obviously the new class. The story is actually going to take place, I think, during the Burning Legion, where I guess Illidan had a secret spec ops of Demon Hunters to train or something like that. And the races that can play them are, of course, the Blood Elves and the Night Elves. I mean, that shouldn't be too big. I mean, that shouldn't be too big of a surprise. And I'm looking at Wowhead right now, and it's showing that you can play as a Death Knight. Oh wait, never mind. That's just what class the elves can play. Never mind. Alright, so we have that. They're going to be using Warglaives as their weapons, and they're going to start at level 98. So their main weapons are Warglaives. I'm trying to see here if they can use anything else. I'm not exactly sure, but it looks like it's just Warglaives for now. So they start at level 98. And they're limited to 1 per server at launch. And it's going to be similar to like Death Knights. Like, they're going to have kind of the same restrictions as Death Knights. They're going to kind of have the same opening story where you got to do the opening story first before you can go out into the world. So if you've played Wrath of the Lich King, or pretty much if you've played a Death Knight, you kind of know what you're getting into. Now, why I'm excited for Demon Hunters is, for some reason, Rogue, a class that I said I would never play in the past, or I just barely played and I sucked at, all of a sudden I got really good at. And I love Rogue. I like the idea of dual-wielding weapons and then stealthing behind people and just, stabbing them 50 times or whatever. So I actually really enjoyed Rogue and Warlords of Draenor. So Demon Hunter is kind of like a Rogue, but with the dull Warglaives, but it's actually technically a tanking class also. And I love tanking classes. My main is a Prot Paladin. My sub main is Guardian Druid. So the fact that I can go from some kind of a pseudo rogue class straight to a tank is just like an absolute dream for me. Now, I will do some criticism that I think the Demon Hunter is kind of like fan service, because obviously WoW is on its last legs. So I do think that they kind of added that in there because it was like, okay, we needed the players back. We gotta have everybody get the power building or something like that. But I'm not really complaining because of the fact they have a tank class. That's what saves it for me. Otherwise, I'd be like, oh, they kind of did this, just to shoot in. We'll have to see how the class actually does. I mean, it'll probably take some bug fixing. It might be overpowered in the first month, like Death Knights were. I know Death Knights were extremely overpowered in the first month of Wrath of the Lich King. So we'll have to see what happens. So that was number 2, I think. Hopefully I didn't lose track. And now number 1 is the World Quest. So what is a World Quest? So I'm just going to read this off of MMO Champion. And the World Quests are available at level 110. They have a limited duration. Could be a couple hours, could be a week. The rewards include artifact power, rare weapons, gold, paddle, basically almost a little bit of everything. Excuse me. And this is where it gets interesting. There are several types of these quests. Regular, rare, elite, epic elite, and elite world quest. Profession world quest includes herbalism, skinning, mining, and, pretty much almost everything. And I think the quest I was looking at might have been a world quest for number 5 on this list, so that could have been one of them. And there's also dungeon world quest, which shouldn't be a surprise. PvP world quest. It says not required to complete emissary quest, but this is where I want to focus on the PvP world quest. So right here they have like a little example of how it looked like on the UI. It's going to actually just show up on your map. You don't need to go to any quest. I think to turn in you need to go to a quest guy, but to start any of the quests you can just go to the area, so it will pop up on your map. So it's kind of like what MMO was I playing? Final Fantasy. It's like Final Fantasy 14. They had fates in Final Fantasy 14. And fates are like little group events that last for a couple of minutes, and they would show up on your map. You don't have to grab a quest or anything. You just head over there and participate. So here it's kind of like that, except for it's a quest. So you obviously got to complete the quest. It's not gonna disappear it's not gonna disappear because somebody completed it before you. So that's good. So here's my thing with that is they didn't really talk about PvP, or actually I'm looking at something really quickly. Alright, there's nothing I can look at really quickly, but with PvP, what I'm hoping to do, if Blizzard wants to revive World PvP, something that back in Vanilla and Burning Crusade was like the bread and butter of World of Warcraft, and I don't know why they decided to completely kill World PvP with Cross Realms and everything. I mean, Cross Realms were supposed to save World PvP, but it didn't really do that much because people could just easily leave the server and disappear. And Flying Mounts kind of killed it, but to be honest, I mean, it's a World of Warcraft is a PvE game. I know a lot of people will find this controversial or whatever, but without PvP, without PvE, World of Warcraft would be dead. That's just a fact. World of Warcraft is basically built on PvE. I know the lore favors PvP, but the PvP is not really that great, and now that Blizzard made Overwatch, and we have League of Legends, and all that stuff, World of Warcraft PvP is just not good really at all. And without PvE, I think World of Warcraft would not survive. So even if World of Warcraft lost its PvP, yeah, it would lose a ton of players, but, I mean, it's not going to happen. They're always going to have PvP. But, anyways, no matter how dead PvP is, which is really, really dead right now, the game still survives because people want to do the PvE, but that's just a controversial statement. I mean, you guys might disagree with me on the video or whatever about that. But anyways, what I'm hoping they do to revive World PvP is going to come down to these World Quests. So, for example, if they can do this, I think they can really help World PvP. So, for example, you could get a World Quest on your map randomly somewhere across the zone on Azeroth. And let's say it says, okay, here's the quest. I need you to kill 20 players in, on Darkshore. We'll just say Darkshore. So I need you to find, in like a little spot though. I'm talking about like a little spot. I'm trying to think of like a specific spot. But it kind of, okay, Razorfen Crawl area. You know, let's do that. Alright, so you need to kill 20 Horde or 20 Alliance. And the only way you can get credit is if you're in that small area between Razorfen Crawl and Razorfen Downs. Now, that gets people to go to old content to explore and whatever. B, it's a small area, so that means players have to get off their flying mounts because they can't afford to, fly all over the map. It's not a huge area. It's one small place, so they have to actually look for people. They can't really fly around that much. And C, or maybe they can actually go, I guess, super far with this, is they can actually give you an item saying once you get to this area, as long as you accepted the quest or whatever, you'll be dismounted from your flying mount, so nobody could fly. I think that's a good idea, but that's obviously completely, tinfoil hat, jump the shark, or whatever you want to call it. But anyways, if they keep it to that small area, then I think it will actually work out, because that will bring back World PvP, because people have an incentive. I mean, unfortunately, you got to give people incentive. I mean, back in my day, back in Vanilla, we didn't need an incentive to PvP. We just wanted to, wreck them noobs. We don't care if we didn't get a single copper piece from killing noobs. We killed them. But, now they have to incentivize it because that's kind of how they made the game. That's a whole different other story. So, if they could do something like that, that could definitely bring back World PvP and can definitely get people. Because if you think about it, if that's the World Quest for the day or something, like for the week or something, some people might just stay there because obviously they want a World PvP. So, just because you're done with the 20 people for your quest, you can still stick around and, pwn some noobs or whatever you want to call it. So, that's my number one thing, and I hope World Quest turns out to be like an awesome thing that, even though there might be another content drought, the World Quest will vary. I think there's going to be like 300 of them or something like that. So, it should be pretty good. So, overall, that's my top 5 so far. Obviously, it's going to change once more stuff is going to come out. It'll probably change drastically if we get into that beta. But anyway, I think this expansion is going to be like, it's going to be either really good or really, really bad. So it's basically a 50-50 chance in my opinion. And of course, if it fails, I think we're going to get those actual vanilla servers that a lot of people are talking about with all that drama, which I did discuss on a different video on the channel. But anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, please like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe for more World of Warcraft videos. The poll did say that World of Warcraft, you guys, the fans, wanted more World of Warcraft videos. Fortunately, it's very hard to do considering there's no new content and I don't have Legion. But I will try my best to get out some type of World of Warcraft content at least every 2 weeks minimum. Unless I get beta, then, I'm strapping it, alpha or whatever. I'm strapping in and, riding the Legion hype train to the moon. But that's not going to happen anytime soon. So thanks for watching. See you guys next time.